So that would be the case where the disease is too far advanced in the body.
Then in that case, it's sort of disease management to make the person's life more comfortable, help them to be more mobile, which we did. But it meant that she would have to go through a process of indefinite treatment. And she got to a certain place where she felt more comfortable, and we left it at that. Yeah. And often that can happen with people who have chronic, intractable conditions. You improve their quality of life to a certain point, get them eating more properly, get them to do exercises that they may not be doing, give them herbs and acupuncture to improve their condition as much as you can. And when you reach that plateau and you can't make any more progress, then you agree that that's the point, that they continue with their good lifestyle, carry on, but if they have a relapse, get in contact, and then you just put them back on that plateau again.
Right.
So you need to realize how far you're going to have to make a prognosis, how far you can actually get with that particular person. And that's, again, through clinical experience and also being realistic.
Okay. So Ken, I know your special interest is autoimmune disease and allergies. Mm-hmm.
Yes. I've been interested in that for quite a long time. Partly because it's a mystery. Just like every patient that comes in, they come into the room and every patient's a mystery, and you have to engage with them and gradually get to know them, how they feel, how they think. The same with autoimmune allergies. There's every statement you ever read in journals or books, they always say autoimmune diseases and allergies are still, the causes are not known. So I find that intriguing. Not only that, in my practice, we're seeing more and more patients with allergies and autoimmune diseases are going through the roof. It's now in this country 1 in 3 people.
So what is autoimmune disease?
Well, you have allergies, which is a more superficial malresponse to the external environment. And you have an autoimmune disease, which is a deeper response, where the immune system is seen to be attacking its own tissues and just causing inflammation and destruction within its own tissues.
And why does the immune system do that?
Well, as I said, certainly in medical science, they always state that the cause of autoimmune diseases and allergies is still unknown. And also in Chinese medicine as well. Chinese medicine is quite clear that it doesn't really have an idea why autoimmune diseases and allergies occur. And where in Western medicine they say that autoimmune diseases and allergies is an over-response of the immune system, i.e. you could say the immune system is too strong for its own good. In Chinese medicine, they say that, or they treat on the premise that autoimmune diseases and allergies is because the immune system is weak. And both ideas, I think, are misguided. I actually think it lies in the middle. It's actually a process of a disorganized immune system. The immune system may show strengths, but within those strengths there's also weaknesses. And instead of suppressing the immune system, i.e. in terms of Western medicine, or in terms of Chinese medicine, strengthening the immune system, you should actually harmonize the immune system. Now, it seems strange that the fundamental question or observation is autoimmune diseases and allergies, when did they all start? It's actually quite modern. In 1906, a pediatrician treating children for TB developed a scratch test for TB to see whether you're TB positive or negative. And it's actually found that within this scratch test, people were actually coming up with allergic responses, i.e. the skin would swell up and become red. And he noted this condition, but it was very rare. And it was only since the 1930s that more people started to show particular allergic conditions. Autoimmune conditions hadn't even been recognized in that sense. They didn't know how to treat it, but it was actually recognized. It's only since the 1960s have they become more specific about what's happening with the gamma globulins. You've got immune globulins, A, G, E. E is the main one with asthma and hay fever, for instance, and urticaria, eczema.
I'm just going to stop you there for a minute, just to try and get back a little bit more to basics. Let's just summarise. You can summarise what the immune system actually does for us.
Okay.
So it's in the you've got the white blood cells, they carry the immune system. Is that right?
Yeah. The immune system is there principally to protect us.
From like viruses and parasites?
Well, the thing is, our body's full of bacteria anyway. And this bacteria cooperates with the body. It's in the bacteria's interest because as it cooperates, it stays alive. If it kills us, it dies with us. And also viruses. A lot of our DNA is actually manufactured from virus activity as well. So this is the whole point, to actually see that we are these exposed individuals out in the world of pernicious viruses and bacteria out to get us, out to kill us, is actually a hysterical version of the truth. We're actually in a world full of bacteria and viruses and fungi, protozoa, etc., that can be beneficial, they can be harmful, but it's not a totally dark picture.
So it's about balance.
It's about balance, and this is why, again, the word harmony rather than suppression or support. Harmony is a more realistic way of approaching this. Now, a child born into the world has a very immature immune system. So the immune system actually learns, it's educated. Every time the immune system has to face an infection, which children do, the immune system becomes educated and it becomes more responsive and stronger and more alert. And so it's a very necessary process, a natural process, for a child to go through a series of infections. Now, if you suppress those infections unnecessarily, there's at times when it's an emergency and you have to, but if you suppress those infections necessarily, for instance, a fever, when a child produces a fever, it's a clearing process. They actually found in Africa with the measles epidemic, when they were using antibiotics and antipyretics, that means to take down fever, things like paracetamol, etc. When they started the first phase of this fever in Western Africa, 35% of the children died. They observed actually the children that were surviving were the children with the worst rashes and the higher fever.
Interesting.
They were the ones that survived. The ones that produced less symptoms were the ones who wasted away and died. So halfway through this particular measles epidemic, they decided to lay off the drugs, the antibiotics, except when it was life-saving, and not to suppress the fever with antipyretics. And in the second half, with the same children, they found that 7% died. So it was a massive drop in deaths because they weren't suppressing the condition. They were monitoring it, they were managing it, they were using drugs when it was necessary to save lives, but on the whole they're interfering less and found they actually saved more lives. So likewise, for a child to come into this life, you have to monitor whenever they're going through an illness, but to jump in there and try and suppress with antipyretics or with antibiotics or steroids, whatever it is, when it's not always necessary, means that it can actually cause disruption to the immune system. As I say, it disrupts the immune system's learning process. The immune system doesn't get to learn. Neither does it get to discharge the toxins. So if you have bacteria coming into the body and you're not monitoring and supporting the body to actually destroy it naturally, you disenabled an aspect of the immune system when another infection comes along. So you get current chest infections with children every time they get colds, and antibiotics after antibiotics. But B, when you actually stop a disease halfway through the process, you leave foreign material in the body. It's locked into the body. And this can actually then cause an autoimmune reaction or an allergic reaction.
So it's the overuse of Western medicines you feel is contributing to this?
Yeah, I would say the inappropriate use.
Inappropriate use.
And a lot of doctors now realise that.
Yeah.
It's been a learning process. We did know antibiotics were the magic bullet at one point, and when they first came to China, Chinese thought they were amazing. They thought this was magic medicine from the West, and they are amazing. They are magic. They've saved many, many lives. But I think it's come to a point when we realise that we have to be more appropriate in their use. And we also have to learn things that we already knew, maybe remember things that we already knew, that the body as a natural entity has to go through certain processes that's not always comfortable in life, but becomes stronger and more resilient because of it.